introduce to you the cast of mysterious characters. First, we have Isabel. Woo! Isabel plays a spy. Woo! Next up, we have Marley. And Marley plays another spy. And then we have Jackson. And Jackson plays a diamond guy. A diamond guy. And then next up we have Katie. Katie plays a cat. Chippy. And then next up we have Carson. And Carson plays a detective. That's right. And then we have Ainsley. Ainsley plays another detective. Good. And then we have Laura. Laura plays a bad guy. That's right. And then we have Flint. And Flint plays the bad guy. Good. And then of course we have Jordan, our assistant bad guy as well. And we will now begin the play, The Mystery of the Lost Jewels. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, on a dark and stormy night in a giant mansion, there lived a man named Jackson. And he was extraordinarily rich and had lots of diamonds that he loved very much.
Ha 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 ha. I love my diamonds more than I love my family.
He loved the diamonds more than he loved his family and his friends. He would polish his diamonds at night and tuck them into bed with him. And he had an extensive security system to protect the diamonds. First, he had sharks.
Sharks, are you ready?
Then he had piranhas.
Piranhas, are you ready?
Then he had alligators.
Alligators, are you ready?
And then he had lions. Lions.
Are you ready?
And finally he had an extensive laser beam system. And a hammer that hammered anyone that came close.
Big, 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 big.
And a super hot nightlight. And all of these security measures were soon in place, and so Jackson and the Chippy the kitty cat fell into their soft, feathered bed with their diamonds and went to sleep. That's right. But what they didn't know is that prowling about were 3 robbers, and they snuck past the lions and the sharks and the piranhas and the alligators and the lasers and the nightlight and the hammer, and they stole the diamonds. And then they laughed evilly as they left. And in the morning, Jackson and Chippy woke up, and they were shocked. Jackson said, "My loves, the diamonds were gone!" And he was so upset that he decided he had to call someone to help, and so he phoned
Detectives.
the detectives, who were living very close by, so they were there very quickly. And the detective said, Did you say detective?
Oh, that's us. What do you need? The bad guy stole my diamonds.
And so they offered to help. They said,
Right.
good. And so then they sent Jackson and Chippy off to another room in the giant mansion while they looked for clues. They were dusting for prints and searching all over. Do-do, 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 do-do. And suddenly,
I found something.
they found something. They had found fingerprints which they wanted to take to
The lab.
They wanted to take them to the lab, so they ran them over to the lab. And luckily the lab was very close by and very efficient, and they got the results right away. And then Carson read the results to us. The results
It
said...
looks like it's been Laura, Flint, and Jess. I mean, Laura, Flint, and Jordan.
Laura, Flint, and Jordan were the robbers. And they were so shocked that they had to call in someone else.
The spies.
They had to call in the spies, that's right, and the spies came by very, very quickly because they also lived nearby. Very good. And they all moved over just a little bit. Very good. That way everyone could see the fine work that they were doing as spies and detectives. Very good. And the spies said,
Did you say spies? That's us. What do you need? The bad guys stole Jackson's diamond.
they gasped because they were quite new spies and they weren't used to crime yet. And then they said, we need you to...
We need you to watch them so they don't do anything suspicious.
So they agreed to watch what was going on. So the detectives ran off to another room in the giant mansion. And the spies did some spying. And what they saw was shocking. They saw the robbers purchase a bottle of jewelry cleaner at the local jewelry cleaner store. It was top-notch diamond cleaner. And so they thought to themselves as they stroked their chin,
Very suspicious.
and they called the detectives back on,
Detectives.
and they told the detectives what they'd seen. And then they all turned out to the audience, and they all stroked their chins and said,
Very suspicious.
and then they decided to call in Jackson and the kitty cat, and they all faced the audience and stroked their chins and said, they stroked their chins and said,
Very suspicious.
good. And that's when there was a knock at the door. And in walked the three robbers into the very house where they had apparently stolen something. And Jackson gasped and said,
You stole my diamond.
stole? What did we do, Flint?
When we went by your house, we noticed that your diamonds were a little dirty.
So what did we do, Laura?
So we decided to clean them.
So we're just coming back to give them back to you.
So they never stole the diamonds at all. They were just cleaning them. And everyone breathed a big sigh of relief. That's right. They were so happy they had solved the case. And then in that instant, Jackson had a revelation.
No, not me.
Oh, he's not doing it. But what he was going to say was that diamonds were not as important as friends. And then he was going to pat the kitty cat on the head. But it's okay because